Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Uh, just good in general to you. We are back with another live stream. A lot of stuff is just happening for the Pittsburgh Steelers lately that I just feel like talking about. It's an exciting time. There's no denying that. Things are happening. Some things feel new and different. Other things don't. There's a changing of the guard, allegedly, happening amongst the Steelers. There is movement amongst coaches. There are interviews that we've expected and interviews that we have not expected. We should probably kick off with the fact that Danny Smith is no longer a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The old guard is moving on, and I will say he wasn't exactly nice. He wasn't exactly the guy I would have moved on from. Okay? Let me check my audio levels here real quick, guys, before I get ramping up and I get fired up here. Okay. Where were we? Andy Weidl is good as gone. Changing of the guard happening amongst the Pittsburgh Steelers and their organization. Danny Smith, he's out. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to warmer pastures, maybe not greener, but certainly warmer. I don't blame him for it. I think it makes a lot of sense. As I talked about in my last stream, the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to Jerry Dulac, essentially went to all the coaches on the team and they said, hey, pack your bags, buddy. Get ready, because if the new head coach does not want you on this team, your good is gone, okay? There's no promises, no commitments to you. You likely, very well likely, not retain your job under the new head coach. We just can't make the promise. We have no idea what's going to We have no idea what's going to happen, who we're going to bring in. So Danny Smith said, thank you very much. I will go find my next opportunity, someone who surely wants me. Who doesn't, by the way? Danny Smith is a great special teams coach. Of the list of Steelers coordinators, coaches that I would want gone, it's probably a pretty long list, but I don't think Danny Smith would have been the one I would have put on it, you know? And it very well could just have come down to he wanted to move on because Tomlin was no longer there. But it certainly is a bit of a gut punch to lose a pillar like Danny Smith, someone you could rely on, someone that was consistent, someone that the players enjoyed working for. Wouldn't have been on my list of, hey, let's show him the door, because you have so many other holes to fill as it is. The last thing you want to be doing is kicking out guys before you absolutely have to. Now, certainly, Terrell Austin, good candidate to show where the closest door is to. Arthur Smith, maybe he got a bad rap, per se. Maybe he didn't have a lot to work with, right? But ultimately, he's just more of the status quo for me. So I'm totally fine and happy for him to be what I would assume is moving on from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's doing a lot of interviews with other teams, and that's fine. I'm ready to turn the page on the offensive coordinator position. Eddie Faulkner, I like. Look what he did with Jaylen Warren and, Kenny Gainwell this year. They balled out. They're two very good, talented running backs that I hope they bring Kenny Gainwell back. Certainly not someone I would say needs to be shown the door, But there's a lot of candidates, and just Danny Smith was not one of them in my mind, but that's okay. There's personal reasons for everything. The next thing that I want to discuss is the fact that we are about to lose a guy that I think gets enough credit, but maybe just isn't talked about enough, if that makes sense. He came in May 2022, collaborated with Omar Khan for the last few drafts now. Andy Weidl, I'm talking about, if I need to tell you. And I can't help but get this feeling that he is a big reason for some of the identity changes that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been going through and really reinventing the trenches in the Steelers' favor over the last 3 or so seasons. So he is going to be interviewing for the Atlanta Falcons' vacant GM job. And I don't blame him. And honestly, I feel like this came a little bit late. I feel as though he could have gotten a job offer as a GM last season, maybe even the season before that. He has been responsible for drafts that included guys such as Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, Darnell Washington, Nick Herbig, Spencer Anderson. And that's just 2023. You look forward to 2024. He added guys like Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick. Maybe I shouldn't say he added guys, but obviously he played a pivotal role in probably scouting those guys and building the draft board and ranking who they like and where they would take them. And it's absolutely led to the trenches being redefined and the Steelers becoming a more physical and in-your-face team. Now, obviously, they aren't all the way there based on what we saw in the playoffs once again. But point is, you certainly felt it like this team just had more power behind it, more size, more strength, more bite to it. I enjoy the direction that Andy Weidl and Omar Khan were collaborating on and successfully, I think, working towards. So it's going to be a huge loss in my mind when they do lose him to a different team for their GM job, but it's also something, I mean, what can you do? You can't stop a guy from earning what he deserves and moving on. It's just a little bit disappointing to lose Andy Weidl potentially, most likely, and Danny Smith. Two guys that, again, with the changing of the guard, they would not have been on my list of like, yeah, show them the door, get them out. I don't like them. They're not good for the team. These two guys are definitely good influences and guys that I would like to have stay. That being said, it does lean into the reports that we're seeing from Jerry Dulac, right, from Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And just as recently, ESPN's Kimberly Martin has made a report, and, paraphrasing probably, she wasn't in the room, I'm assuming. Who knows who she got her info from, but it makes sense to me, where basically Omar Khan and Art Rooney had a discussion with the Steelers coaches and got in a room and said, none of you are staying unless the new head coach wants you. Kimberly Martin said something like, allegedly, Omar Khan said, you're going to be locked out of your emails at the end of the week. Don't get comfortable, which I feel like he wouldn't say that. That's a little bit heavy-handed, but who knows? Maybe Omar Khan's kind of a boss, and he talks like that to his coworkers. But the point is, the turnover is here, and it's happening, and it can't be stopped. Whether it's guys that we like to stay or guys that we want to go, it doesn't matter. The change is coming, better or worse. This is the biggest turnover we're going to see. And I don't know, the last 20, more than that, because Tomlin was here for 20 years, 30 years, right? Like Tomlin, when he came in, I think he kept around 5 or 6 of the coaches that were under Bill Cowher, right? Hired by Bill Cowher. So there's not that level of consistency here in the slightest. It seems like everyone is up for the chopping block. And prior to that, I don't know. I have no idea how many coaching changes there were when Bill Cowherd came in. But the point is, this is the biggest change, better or worse, that we've seen from the Steelers in probably at least 30 years. And it's exciting, like I've said in my past videos and live streams. But there's other things that pop up that just give me hesitation. Like, I saw a report the other day. And again, I don't want to overreact, okay? Due diligence is a thing. Maybe they're just bringing him in because he's a Pittsburgh guy. And they want to do right by that. They want to check every box they can. But let me pull up this tweet from the other day. I obviously commented on it because I can't help myself. Let's see, where is it? Okay. So hopefully that works out well. There we go. Super Bowl winning coach Mike McCarthy will interview Wednesday with the Steelers. That is today. He is going to be in person with them. I am excited to see how that goes. Hopefully it goes terribly. But McCarthy was a candidate for the Titans before withdrawing Monday morning and has turned down other inquiries. He's focused on Pittsburgh, where he is considered a strong candidate. Now, I would love to hear what you guys think about that, but personally for me, not what I wanted to hear, not the report I would have liked to see. Again, could just be checking boxes. You got to do your interviews. You should talk to a lot of guys. You shouldn't just pigeonhole yourself into 2 or 3 guys, because that is a recipe for missing out on the 1 or 2 guys you might want and then having no backup plan. And you never want to do that when doing a search as important as this, or really any search on the coaching staff. But seeing that gave me a little bit of pause. I won't lie to you. But we're just going to have to see how that one plays out. Mike McCarthy is either so non-confident in himself or simply doesn't have the desire to play for another team than the Pittsburgh Steelers, or he's so confident in himself and his chances of becoming the Steelers head coach that he doesn't feel the need to do other interviews. And I'm hoping it's the former, and certainly not the latter. But my thoughts around the head coaching search, by the way, I put out a video about this, I don't know, last week, is it's hard to not see Chris Shula as the front runner, right? Like, and I know he's not everyone's pick. Everyone has a reason for who they want and who they like. But to me, he's got to be, just from a practicality standpoint, like removing myself from the desires of what I want. And we'll talk about that after my little blurb here on Chris Shula. It makes so much sense, right? So he's 39 years old. In fact, let me pull up the tweet that I quote tweeted about this. Doing a lot of tweeting lately. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So what I said was, hard to not see Shula checking all their boxes. As much as I'd like a change up and an offensive-minded guy, Shula could just hire talented people around him for that, right? Like what a good head coach would do, he could do, right? Like wow, sorry, I'm getting excited. A head coach shouldn't be expected to do everything. You can't be defensive-minded and offensive-minded and a head coach and a special teams guru. That's why they hire people. So I like a lot of the things that Shula brings to the table, and he absolutely, without a doubt, checks a lot of the Steelers' boxes. He's 39 years old. He has no head coaching experience, which is so funny to me that one of the seeming requirements for the Steelers in their head coaching search is that they have zero head coaching experience before being the Steelers head coach. But checking a box is checking a box, and he checks that one. He's defensive minded. His grandfather, I believe it was, worked with Chuck Noll. His father, I believe it was, worked with Colbert, I don't know. And Chris Shula himself worked with Tom Arth, the quarterback's coach. So there's just so many things connecting the dots there. And there was also another report that came out that the Steelers have been monitoring him, allegedly, as soon as a month prior to Mike Tomlin ever stepping down. So I don't know what the interest was stemming from. Maybe the Steelers knew Tomlin wanted to step down, or they felt like he might step down, or maybe they were going to fire him, or maybe they wanted a different DC. Maybe he could have been a DC candidate. I don't know. But they had tabs on him months ago at this point. So there's just so many things and so many boxes that he checks that it makes me feel like Chris Shula just naturally has to be the front runner, right? Like, I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm okay with it personally. Again, what I really wanted, like deep down, and I don't know if I would, I don't know if I'm right to want this. It's just what I want. I just want more change. I'm in the change boat. All I want is change. Change. I don't care. Take the risks. But bringing in a offensive-minded guy. And before you guys double back and say, well, Adam, you just said you don't want Mike McCarthy. He's an offensive-minded guy. I already took care of that concern in the follow-up tweet to this. So you just take that in. Okay? Don't tell me about Mike McCarthy being an offensive-minded guy. Okay? That's not what I want when I say offensive-minded. I have specific people in mind, and at this point, it's just one person. Which, don't put all your eggs in a basket. I know, I'm just saying. Nate Scheelhaas. I'm still butchering it, but that was my guy. Still is. I love the way he talks in interviews. I love the role he's played within the Rams organization up until this point. I love that he was a former quarterback at Iowa. I think it was Iowa. I love the youth. I love the way he carries himself. And I love that he comes from a Sean McVay offensive coaching tree. That excites me. That's where I'm leaning. But Chris Shula is like a close second. Like, I certainly wouldn't be mad about it at all. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Chris Shula could just hire Nate as the OC, which is true. There's nothing wrong with doing that. My only concern would then become, well, how long is Nate going to last, right? Like, you would hire him hoping he would do really well. And so if he were to do really well and be that young and that successful, he's not going to last more than 2 seasons if you're lucky on the coaching staff, So certain thoughts there, food for thought. I wish I could see my chat, guys. I don't know why the chat is not showing on YouTube on the sidebar. I apologize. I will get that sorted away, but at least I fixed some of the other issues we were happening. Oh, I know what it is. It's because it's a private video at first. Doesn't matter. I'll fix that for next time. What else do I have on the plate, though? These are my thoughts here. Oh. So 2 things. Where should I go first with this? Do I go James Harrison just saying stuff on his podcast, or do I go Colin Cowherd? I think in the vein of we're talking about coaches, we're going to stick with Colin Cowherd. So I want to show you this clip let's see. And it's just a little moment, right? But it's so silly to me. It's such a bad, lazy take. It's where Colin Cowherd goes to say, he's talking about teams that are looking for coaches, and I'll let you guys listen to it, and we'll go from there.
I think you would choose the Ravens over the Steelers. So, excuse me, the Steelers will get the fourth choice at best. And this is a Rooney's not super aggressive in the free agent market, the trade deadline, and the coaching market. They're not good at this. So, Giants get their guy.
So it's a small nugget, right? It's a small nugget, but it's a interesting and poorly thought out reason for why the Pittsburgh Steelers are at best the fourth desired location. I understand what he's saying from a quarterback standpoint. Like, yeah, the Steelers don't have a quarterback. And I know there's probably Will Howard lovers in here. That's fine. Do your thing. We all have our crushes. But if we're being realistic, they don't have a first-round quarterback on the roster. Aaron Rodgers should not come back. I'm just going to say it. He shouldn't. All this change is not conducive to a 42-year-old quarterback. And so hearing that, I get it from the perspective of, well, Josh Allen, coaching for him would be great. Lamar Jackson, coaching for him would be great. There's so many openings right now of really good quarterbacks. But I think you're missing the point that the level of job security you will have if you are hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's no way that even if you flop for like 3 seasons and you're just the worst coach ever, and that's without taking into account that if you don't have a quarterback, they're probably going to extend that window, right? Like, you can't possibly hire a head coach, not get him the right quarterback, and then fire him after 2 seasons. If you're the Steelers, they don't do that. Okay. So if we're assuming that they don't find a quarterback, this new head coach, and they're, because the draft position sucks or the classes are terrible, like this year's class, there's not really anyone like that exciting, right? Outside of Mendoza. And even he isn't like, if you put him up against the last 10 years of quarterback classes, he's not going to rank as like probably the top 5, I would imagine. So if you go into it thinking, well, the Steelers are so slow to pull the trigger on a firing, and they really don't do it, and they're patient and they let people develop their teams, like, it's one of the best jobs in the league. Just that alone, you're safe. You're in a city that loves football. They're going to pay you handsomely. You get to develop your team, which that I'm sure for some coaches is scary. It's like, oh no, like, I'm going to go in and every decision I make is going to be who's the OC, the DC, the secondary coach, the tight ends coach, blah, blah, blah. Like, most head coaches want to be a head coach because that's exactly what they want to do. They want to build their team. And of course, Rooney will have a lot of say in it, I'm sure. Maybe even Omar Khan, right? But point is, job security, great football town, amazing history, the opportunity to build it in your image, no quarterback that you're tied to, by the way, which can also be a benefit. Like, not, it sounds silly and kind of copy. I get it. Like, obviously, you'd rather have a franchise quarterback on the team already, but I'm also saying you see some marriages between head coaches and franchise quarterbacks that don't go well, right? Because it's not their guy or whatever. So, point being with that is just, I think it's a very attractive spot to be a coach. Like, to me, when I'm a head coach, all those things are things I would be looking for in my opportunity to be one, to join a team. It's like, yeah, like, you get all the responsibilities of being a head coach if you join the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're going to have a lot of work to do, but you're joining a franchise that has a lot of great history. Maybe the last 10 years have been painfully mediocre, but just from a football historian appreciation perspective, they still are very well respected. It's a fun opportunity. That's all I'm saying. It's like, saying that it's not a sought after job is silly. And then on top of that, he says that the Steelers are not good at this thing. Like, bro, what? Now that's just crazy. Of course they're good at finding head coaches. They've had now 3, about to have 4. Like, or no, sorry. Yeah, 3, about to have 4. They've nailed it every time. There's no denying that. Like, yeah, Tomlin went out with a fizzle. But, man, to look back on Knoll and Cowherd and Tomlin and be like, yeah, they made the wrong hire there. That those were misses. They suck at finding head coaches. They don't know what to look for. You can't say they don't know how to find a head coach. Do they hold on to things too long? Absolutely. Do they not know when to move on? Yep. Do you want to see some philosophy changes? Do you want to see some shifts in certain things that they do and like certain things they value? Yes, but saying that they are bad at finding head coaches, bro, just stop it. Just stop right now. What a ridiculous statement. Another thing I want to show you guys, okay, this is a little off topic from the coaching thing, but I thought it was an interesting little nugget from James Harrison. Sorry, I didn't sleep well last night, guys. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of news coming out. I was up till like 2 a.m. just reading tweets. Let me find this one. All right, let's see. So this was James Harrison on his podcast. And we got to remember, who knows how close James Harrison is to the inside the organization and knowing the dirt and things that are coming. Certainly a great player for the Steelers at one point, and I'm sure has relationships more than most of us do, or probably all of us here do watching with the Steelers. But I just don't know the validity of this. But this was on the Debo and Joe podcast, and they were just talking about salary cap and stuff. And he kind of dropped this nugget about Patrick Queen's status with the team. So I'll just play it out.
You go and you look at other people's contracts like that, and, you know, hell, they already let Queen go.
The Steelers.
So what does he mean by that? So are they letting Patrick Queen go? I mean, he has 1 year left on the deal, 2026. And I thought it was interesting the way Joe Hayden like paused and was like kind of like, oh, moving on. No idea the validity of it, right?
Are doing what?
You go and you look at other people's contracts like that, and, you know, hell, they already let Queen go.
The Steelers are doing.
And I just love how Joe Hayden kind of like, so the Steelers. I just want to run that part back one more time because it's just funny to me.
The Steelers are doing.
Hell, they already let Queen go.
The Steelers are doing what?
Oh, man, that's funny. Now, how much does James Harrison know? I have no idea. He could be just speaking out his butthole. Might not know a dang thing about what the Steelers plan to do with Patrick Queen. But if we're being honest about Queen, respect to him. He seems like a good teammate. He's played good football in the past. I don't think he's particularly been very good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They signed him to be the green dot wearing, patrolling the field, sideline to sideline, tackling behind the line of scrimmage, splash play, cover everyone, kind of linebacker, you know, like the guy they've been looking for since Shazier's injury. Whiffed on Bush, who's now playing great for the Browns, go figure. Brought Patrick Queen in, and it's just the experiment. I don't think it's working out. I really don't. Like, he makes a play here and there, but it's certainly not to the level that we were hoping or really need from that green dot wearing modern NFL linebacker. So it could be a thing that's going to happen. He might very well be cut, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. I just thought it was interesting and kind of funny, especially Joe Hayden's reaction or non-reaction to it. It felt like we were getting a little nugget there, but who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see when the time comes. So yeah, guys, that's all I had today. A shorter stream. Also, I can't see the freaking chat box, so I have no idea what you guys are saying. So I'll fix that for the next stream. We're learning. Like I said, we're coming back. We're figuring things out step by step, day by day. But that's some of the news around the league, some of my thoughts about where we're currently at, the direction of the Steelers. Still exciting for me. Every day is exciting. Even if it says they're going to interview some guy that I would retire watching football if he was the head coach, or just give up completely on my life existence, it's still fun because it's news, it's new, and it's different. So until next time, guys, I will stream again. Leave some comments about what you want me to discuss. Leave comments about your thoughts, and I'll reply to them post video. And thanks for tuning in. So see y'all when I see y'all soon.